Hello everyone and welcome back to the Hockey Up. So today we're going to be taking a look at 5 teams that I view as legit Stanley Cup contenders for next season. Now we're going to go from 5 to 1 in ranking of the teams that I feel have the best shot at getting themselves a Stanley Cup champion next season. Now keep in mind these are just my opinions, I'm not going to bet my house on this, but yeah, so let's get into it. So at number 5 I have the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, Carolina is obviously, they had that great run 2 years ago. They did get beat out in the first round this past year against Boston, but obviously Boston's a good playoff team. And with the bubble, I don't look too much into that. The only problem that I have with Carolina's lineup is I have questions about their goaltending. I don't think that Peter Mrazek or James Reimer are legit starters, but if one of them could maybe catch fire in a playoff run, Carolina does have a really good roster. They've got one of the best defense pairings in the entire NHL in Dougie Hamilton and the ever underrated Jacob Slavin. Their defense in general is great, one of, if not the best in the league, with other guys like Brett Pesce and Brady Shea. Their forward core, highlighted by star centerman Sebastian Aho, is fantastic, with Andrei Svechnikov and Teuvo Teravainen. So Carolina is a very good team. They're also very well coached by Rob Brendamore. So overall, I think they are a dark horse to go on another deep run and potentially get themselves a title. But at number 4, I then have the Philadelphia Flyers. Now, Philadelphia obviously turned some heads past season, led by Carter Hart and Sean Couturier, who just won himself his first Selke trophy and probably not his last. Philadelphia is just a very good team all around. They've got great goaltending, which finally, because for years there were always questions about Philadelphia's goaltending. They went through guys like Elliott, and well, that one year where they played like 8 goaltenders or something, it was crazy. But now Hart is the guy. He is an absolute horse, in my opinion. He's the next Carey Price. He's the next best goalie in the league. So he's going to be set. He's going to be fine. The defense is obviously still pretty good, highlighted by Ivan Provorov, but there is some questions, mainly around Ghost, Shane Gostisbehere. He has played very rough lately, and if he can bounce back to his 2017-2018 form, he's a beast, but he's been very poor the last 2 seasons. Obviously, up front, they're deadly. They've got Couturier, Voracek, Giroux, Konechny, and hopefully Oscar Lindblom can play a full schedule as well. Obviously battling cancer and coming back in the playoffs was a great story, and he is actually a very solid player. He was on pace for 20 goals before he had to step out due to his illness. So Philadelphia is just a very well-rounded team. It's a team that I truly believe is going to be very good next season. They could finish atop of their division, in my opinion, and go on a deep playoff run. They made it to the second round, led by Hart. So yeah, I just think that Philadelphia, they got an all-around good roster and the makeup of a true contender with a good mix of young players like Hart and Konechny, but also veterans like Giroux and Voracek and Kevin Hayes. Now, moving on to number 3, I have the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, Vegas once again had a big offseason, getting a big addition in Alex Pietrangelo. And, well, that contract probably isn't going to look good 5 or 6 years from now. Right now, adding Pietrangelo is a massive addition to that blue line. Pietrangelo is one of the best defenders in the National Hockey League. Him and Theodore as a top pairing could be the best in the NHL, to be honest. Both of those guys are fantastic. Both of those guys are in conversation for the Norris Trophy. And since Theodore plays the left, Pietrangelo plays the right, ideally that's the top pair, and you'd be hard-pressed to find a better pair in the entire league. They've also got an absolutely, dangerous forward core led by Mark Stone, Max Pacioretty, William Karlsson, Riley Smith, Alex Tuch. Many. You could go on a while about the good forwards in Vegas and the depth they have there. Obviously, their goaltending, their tandem is one of the best in the league with Leonard and Fleury. Now, I know some Vegas fans still feel that Fleury is the starter, but Leonard, I just think at this stage in his career is the better goaltender. He's the more reliable goaltender, but Fleury can still be a very good 1B and will probably prolong his career if he doesn't have to play as many games like Vegas played him in the first few seasons, where Fleury played seemingly every game for them if he wasn't injured. Vegas is probably the odds-on favorite to win the Stanley Cup for most, considering they got Pietrangelo, but I also look at what they lost and say, well, yeah, Pietrangelo is an impact player, but losing a heart and soul player for them like Nate Schmidt and their second-line center, Paul Stastny, those aren't exactly subtractions that won't be missed at all. Schmidt was a key guy for them. Stastny was a key guy for them. And yeah, it's good that they moved out their cap hit to bring in Pietrangelo, but it's not like they just added Pietrangelo and to their team without taking anything away from it. They did also take away from their team, but they did add more, and in general, Vegas is still probably going to be a cup favorite for a long time to come, just because they built such a solid roster out of the gate. Now, moving on to number 2, I have the defending Stanley Cup champions, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, I know this might be a hot take, but I still think Tampa Bay is a serious contender for going back-to-back. If you look at their roster, it's still the best on paper in the National Hockey League. Vasilevsky is the best goalie in the league, in my opinion. Hedman is the best defender in the league, in my opinion. Kucherov is the best winger in the league, in my opinion. And you could go on. Braden Point, Steven Stamkos if he's healthy, Mikhail Sergachev, Ryan McDonough. And I know there's questions, who will they have to move out to clear up cap space to sign Mikhail Sergachev or Anthony Cirelli? But I'm sure Julien Brisebois, their GM, will figure it out, get those guys re-signed. And even if that means losing a guy like Tyler Johnson or Alex Killorn or Andre Palat, Tampa Bay is still going to have a great team. And I think now that they've finally figured out how to win, they've got that, because obviously they were labeled as chokers for a while, but they proved they can do it, and now they have the mentality that they can do it. I seriously think that they're not going to be a team to be taken lightly again. I don't think that they're chokers anymore. It wouldn't be fair to call them that after winning the Stanley Cup champion. And with that roster, I can't just see how they only end up winning one cup out of that team. So Tampa Bay is a serious threat out of the East, and in my opinion, the best team in the East still, and the biggest contender from the East. But moving on to the team I feel has the best chance of winning a Stanley Cup next year, and in my opinion, should win a Stanley Cup. They're my pick to win the Cup, and that is the Colorado Avalanche. Now, obviously, the Colorado Avalanche is led by Nathan MacKinnon. Their assistant captain, obviously, Gabriel Landeskog, is the captain. But MacKinnon is one of the best players in the league. He proved that this past playoffs. He was amazing. He was above point per game. And if he had gone further in the playoffs, he was starting to, threaten some records set by Gretzky in the 80s. So MacKinnon has proved that he's, when the playoffs come, he's there to perform. He does not choke in the playoffs. He always steps up his game, and he only seems to get better year by year. His defensive game is pretty solid, and his overall offensive game. His shot is incredible. His passing is incredible. His skating. But enough about MacKinnon. You've also got Cale Makar. They added Devon Toews. They added Brandon Saad. You've already got Mikko Rantanen and Nadezhdan Kadri there. Their depth is incredible. Their blue line is one of the best in the league. And who knows, maybe Bowen Byram comes in and he looks like another Cale Makar for them. Their depth is second to none in the National Hockey League. The only questions I have with Colorado is I don't know if their goaltending is good enough to get them that far. I think if Grubauer can stay healthy, then that's fine, but that has been the problem with Grubauer's health, because he is starting to look like an injury-prone goaltender. But if he can stay healthy, I think Colorado doesn't have to have an amazing star goaltender to win a cup. Their team around their goaltending is just that good that even if they get average goaltending from those guys, they're still dangerous. They should still at least make the conference final. They are so good in every way. They play such a solid game, led by head coach Bednar. Their team is built so well for now, built so well for the future. Even the way their contracts are structured should allow them to be a contender for many years to come. But going into this season, I think that Colorado is the odds-on favorite to win the Stanley Cup, in my opinion. I know, obviously, the Vegas odds have Vegas, funny enough. But, in my opinion, it's Colorado. Their team, top to bottom, is rivaled only by Tampa's. And it's so hard to go back-to-back. That's why I don't have Tampa first, because obviously Pittsburgh is the only team in the last 20 years to do it. I do think Tampa can do it, but I would feel more comfortable taking Colorado to win the Cup, especially since they've made the second round the past couple years, and it just feels like this year's the year they have to break through, and I think eventually it's got to happen for them. They have all the makeups of a Cup-winning team, and I believe that they should be the 2021 Stanley Cup champions. But that does it for today's video. I appreciate you guys watching till the end. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Bye for now.